to Cincinnati.
Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet, put your hands together, help me welcome to the stage, Corcoran! All right, Barbara. Great conversation backstage. I have all these questions for you, but I almost want to. You're such a dynamic personality, so just jump into questions. I just want to kind of give it to you for a little bit. You have all these entrepreneurs here that are here. They came here to hear you. What is something that you want to tell just the crowd out of the gate to get started about entrepreneurship, business, life? What's a big piece of advice or wisdom that you would give entrepreneurs today in business?
I'd say the greatest gift of being in business for yourself, when you're going through hell, where you're having a celebration, and you know you go through a lot more hells and you have celebrations, is to realize how God blessed and fortunate you are. I'm not religious, I don't know why I said God bless, but how fortunate you are to be working for yourself.
Yeah.
Would anybody trade that in for a day in somebody else's life? Maybe one day, but working for yourself and making your life totally what you want it to be. Amen.
Love it. Well, let's just start back from the beginning. Obviously, you had the crazy story of the $1,000 story that you had, I think, like 20 some odd jobs before you were 23, and then you borrowed $1,000, you leveraged your empire. Go back in time, though. Take us back to that moment every entrepreneur goes through where it's like, I have to make this, I have to go do this. And you leverage, you don't know how to work out, you borrow money from a friend, a credit card, and you go do it. What do you remember when you took that $1,000, how you felt, and then how you overcame and said, fuck it, I'm gonna go do this?
You're putting a lot of words in your mouth. Getting the $1,000, I don't think I was that thrilled about it because I had 22 jobs. Can you hear me okay? I had 22 jobs, and real estate was my 23rd, and I was only 23 years old. So getting the $1,000, my attitude was, hey, I'll give it a shot. I'll try this one. I tried everything else, which was true. And so I didn't have an appreciation for what I had an appreciation for it. And perhaps I should have. Like, what the hell was I going to get $1,000 if I didn't get it from Ramon Simone, who visited the Fort Lee Diner that offered to lend it to me? God, where would I be? So I'm appreciative in hindsight, I guess. But the biggest change that happened, the one that knocked me on the side of my head, and I think is really responsible for building most of my business, was me realizing what my gifts were. I was only good at one thing, talking. I couldn't do shit. I just started talking. So then how do you build a career around talking? You go into real estate sales. And if you're really good at bullshitting, that's your sweet spot. But I must say that when I was in business, believe it or not, the very, very first day, I picked up the phone, first call that came in. I couldn't believe someone's responding in my little head. And I said, good morning, Corcoran Simone, which was the name of my business then. And I pictured myself right then and there as a being New York real estate. I could see it in living color, and I could touch it and taste it, you know? I knew what my hair would be like. I'd wear makeup, beautiful dress on, and I pictured lots of people asking, oh, Barbara, tell me this, Barbara, tell me that, and coming in line and kissing my ring like they do with the Pope. I did a lot of Catholic things, right? But that day, I knew I was going to be a queen of New York real estate. I just thought I could taste it. I never had a business plan. I never had any vision about what it did for me. And I would recommend it for anyone who's more visual than analytical, which is the majority of entrepreneurs, right? What it did for me is it freed me to be whatever I wanted to be. And I just had an image, and everything I did either matched the image and I did it, or it didn't match the image, I wouldn't do it. That was my North Pole through my whole career.
I love that last part where, because really talking about at an early age, I'm like, you were kind of building your brand. I don't know if that terminology is more newer now. It's more newer, but you were really saying, this doesn't match who I want to be, how I want to be represented. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay on brand of what it is inside of it. Talk to me about even now. So if you skip now towards the we're live now. You've been on Shark Tank for 10 seasons now. 15 seasons on Shark Tank. Let's talk about how you have kept your brand relevant throughout time, because obviously on Shark Tank, every business, but there's a lot of business owners out there that are gunning for those seats basically on Shark Tank. They're just coming after Robert, you, it doesn't matter. They're looking for a seat in that Shark Tank. How did you stay relevant that you kept your chair throughout those 15 seasons?
Truthfully, I'm surprised I haven't.
I love the honesty.
Yeah, every year we film Shark Tank in September, and then we go back again for a couple of weeks in September, which we're about to go in. It ruins every summer for me. So I sit and I worry, and I know I'm never going to perform well. I know I'm not going to choose the right businesses. I know I'm going to lose a lot of money. And I know everybody's staring at me thinking she's done. And I know all this stuff. And I go through it every single season. What a waste of time. But that brings me to why it's good for me. I hate to admit it. Is because fear is the best motivator. The minute you stop being fearful, you don't really accomplish much, And even better than fear, if you could arrange to have it, would be insult. Insult is best. I have been motivated to accomplish more things in my life because of fucking asshole. Insulting me. When I loaned someone who, of course, loaned me $1,000 to start my business and left me and married my secretary, it wasn't bad enough when I was a bad chapter for a year of my life anyway. But when he said to me, you'll never succeed without me, I thought, you know what I thought? I'd rather die than let him succeed. But let me tell you, it's insecurity, of course. It's being fearful, which these are not good things in life. But I have used exactly that to build who I am, to try to redo the tape in my head over and over, and I never accomplished it. Folks, starting all over again. Now, it doesn't seem fair, but at least I'm starting all over again to try. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Can I keep talking for a minute?
You're full, man.
No, he's got a lot of questions. I want to make sure he does a good job. I think the greatest misnomer for people in business, or even people in life, is that you build your confidence based on success. If only I could get this done, I could feel good about myself. I accomplish this, I feel. I have found in my life, not only with myself, but everybody else, that's not how you build confidence. You don't build confidence through winning. You build confidence through trying. You really do. I mean, what my confidence comes from is not the winnings I've had. I've had a lot of winnings. But I know you give me something, or a challenge, or an insult, or anything, and I will prepare harder, work harder than anybody I know every time, and I will come back up. And do you know what a confidence builder that is? It's not confidence going in. It's a deep confidence that I got my confidence by practicing trying. I tried.
I like the kind of the ingredients you're giving there, because every entrepreneur has fear. It's a real feeling, emotion that you go through, and it sounds like you found a way in your life to take the fear and bottle it up as fuel, basically, to push and drive you to the next level. Inside of it. If I stand that strip with you of ingredients there, you talk about fear, you talk about insults to help drive to success. Let's flip the page there. What would be the positive emotions or feelings that you also use, besides fear and insult? What are some of the maybe the positive sides that you use to help push and drive you to success?
Well, I stay focused on what the goal is. Can't move me off of it. I want to be the queen of New York real estate. I worked on that 15 years and became the queen of New York real estate. I knew I wanted to be the number one company in New York. And even though I just had me at a little sublease desk, I knew I would be the number one company in New York if I could stay the course. If I just stay the course. But I don't think I really answered your question. Did I answer your question again?
Well, you are answering it. It's what are the...
I think I'm warming up. I don't think I'm answering it.
What are the positive attributes? You know, about fear and insults that you use to drive and motivate you. What are some of the positive things you also use to drive and
I don't mean to bring up another negative, but it's a negative that led to a powerful positive. You know, when I was in school, I was a dumb kid in class. Everybody has one or two, right? And in my generation, a dumb kid was just a dumb kid. There was no special help. So I couldn't read till I was in 7th grade. Nothing in my life has been harder than me being a little kid in like 2nd grade with the nuns, you know, and me trying to read in front of my peers. And everybody looking, no one else was. Nothing could compare to that. Nothing. It was a jailhouse. Every day at school was a jailhouse. When that bell rang, I was, yeah. But I have to say, I think having a tough time, you want to look for them and welcome them because everybody's got one. What kind of shit do you have that you went through, you know? Everybody's got one. But how you could reach down in your soul and just take that shit and say, well, I'm ahead. And I managed the business world. Even when I got my first job at 12, I went into that. And I was pretty good at it. I just talked to people. And that was my first light. I might be smart. And then I built my business. I might be smart. They asked me to come on Shark Tank. Gee, maybe I'm smart. But see how I use that again and again. And God, when I look at entrepreneurs on Shark Tank, I look for the losers. Swear to God. The privileged kids come for 3rd rounds of financing and fancy talk and Harvard MBAs. Forgive me, I'm prejudiced. Right. I'm looking for the kids that are like me, the kids that just need a break, the kids that are going to got worked up by a drunk dad or somebody who said they couldn't do something. Because you know, when I look at my successes, I've had 100 and some odd businesses I've invested in Shark Tank. When I look at every success, it's headed by a loser. I tell them to, I love you, you're a loser.
It's why I recruited Eddie, my business partner, I swear to God. Barbara, can we shift gears for a second? There's a saying that you always say, and I want you to elaborate more on it. It's very, very powerful. You say, you don't have to get it right, you just have to get it going. Elaborate on that, what you mean when you say that.
Yeah, the biggest mistake entrepreneurs make, or wannabe entrepreneurs who are thinking of getting started, is they write a business plan. They spend a lot of time getting it right, but they don't get out of the gate. And by the time they get out of the gate, somebody already thought of that idea and took it. Right? The whole idea is you have to get out on the street, I think, to build anything. The problem with the business plan is it's theoretical, it's well-meaning, it sounds fancy, you feel official when you make it, but guess what? Take it out on the street, none of that shit works. Okay? You might have a concept that you develop based on customer response, the rent you can get to pay, how cheap you can get it, the landlord you get. All that stuff is out the window. All building a business really is thinking of how you could use your wit, your mindset, more than your arms and legs. How you could use your wit to outwit everybody. You know, how do you really do it? And it has to happen in the street, getting out, playing in the traffic. It's not only way.
I like it. I'm going back to the statement you said a while ago that's sticking out to me when you were getting started in real estate and you were just getting going. And I think you said you had a sublet lease there, and you said, I knew that I was going to be the #1 real estate agent in New York City. What drove you there? And that's such a lofty goal. Sometimes entrepreneurs are afraid to set their goals too high or their vision too high, and they'll say, I just want to be a successful real estate broker. What made you say, no, fuck that, I want to be the #1 real estate broker? Why did you go that level out of the gate?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. Just a sheer coincidence. I went to the Real Estate Board of New York, which was an association where all the big guys got together. And the people who owned my market then were privileged men. I'm not taking away from them. Can't blame them for having money. But I blame them anyway. Okay, so these guys, I went to a board meeting right when I started. So it happened to come up, like that morning up. And I went into the room, there were all these fancy guys with navy blue suits on, and I had the long clothes, because I didn't know what to expect in New York. I was from New Jersey, right? So all these guys were there.
Yeah.
Most populated state in the nation, I just learned last week for some reason. Share that. The guys, I interrupted myself and said, "Hi, my name is Corcoran. Oh, nice to meet you." And they turned back, closed up the circle. And I did that to the three groups of men standing there. I was in no way, I don't blame them. Yeah. So they closed up the circle. And I think that initiated my dream. It was like, I'll be the queen of Mary Street, I'll show you the sun.
If you can, let's talk about Shark Tank for a second. 15 seasons now. What would you say right now has been your, we always see it, we watch it on TV, we see the people pitch and so forth, and we think, oh, I would do this different, or I would set this different. What has been your number one, from your side, what has been your number one learning takeaway that you have experienced on Shark Tank? What's the number one thing that you've learned about being on Shark Tank with all these different business owners?
I've learned that most people who are entrepreneurs probably have no business being there.
That is true.
I've learned that it's a nice concept. It's almost become more fashionable to be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
It used to be in my family, if my brother was a puts on roofs for himself, or he was a plumber, he was considered a failure, not an entrepreneur. Today, everybody is cool to be an entrepreneur. A serial entrepreneur, even worse. I hate that. Yeah, but what was your question?
Well, it was one thing I love.
I'm sorry. Isn't it 2 o'clock in the morning? It feels like
I love it. What was everything that you learned on the show so far?
Oh yeah, that very few people can succeed. But what I have learned is that it's a complicated mix of personality that makes an entrepreneur, and I'll share that with you. I think number one, you have to be a salesman. It's shocking to me that somebody starts a business and can't sell. If you can't sell, you're going to find a partner right away who sells. Because if you can't sell me on your idea or on your concept even, come on, how are you going to sell to build a business? You have to be a salesman. I think number two, I don't know if in this order, you have to be competitive. I look at all my successful entrepreneurs, which are about maybe 15% of who I work with. They are super competitive. They're like me. I competed for things I didn't even want. Just because the lady wanted it. That's it. That needs a shrink. Competition, to be sincerely competitive, like you're not a good loser, I'm not a good loser. Okay? I think the next thing, probably the most important should come from is the ability to get back up. Let me tell you, if you're going to go into business, it's one pain in the ass thing. It's not personnel, it's market, it's competitor, it's money, it's always something. So you've got to have the ability to get back up. Let me just ask, I feel like I'm overstating.
No, always. They're here for you, not me.
All my thoughts connected. When I was running the Corcoran group, the hardest thing for me was to decide who had sales potential. What I was really doing then is pretty much what I'm doing today, choosing entrepreneurs. Because a great salesman is an entrepreneur. So I would try my best to interview and see who had talent, women coming back to work who never worked. They look the same to me, but who has talent? And you know what? I used a little trick. I would say, all the successful people in this business have a great deal of empathy, and I could tell you really read people, well, you're incredible, you're about to schmooze them up. But I don't sense the second trait. Do you mind if I share that with you? Oh, no. And I'd say, all my best people have the killer instinct. They come back and kill no matter what. And they say, I had a killer instinct once on the PTA. Yes, right? But I'm telling you, a great salesperson reached across the desk and was striking. And I knew I had a winner. There is something. Okay? So that kind of fire is intrinsic to every salesperson. If you don't have the fire, you need to draw on it day in and day out, especially when things get tough. You have to have it. But you have to have the ability to be like a jack in the box. You hit it on the head, slam in the box, and it's too stupid to stay there. It bounces back up and it twists on again, you know? That's the visualization I have of a great entrepreneur. Hit me again. Hit me again. So I think I learned from that show how to identify great entrepreneurs. And I don't pay attention to business, I just pay attention to the person.
Wow, very good. I like it. I like you talk about every entrepreneur at the end of the day is a salesperson. They have to be. Whether you're selling to raise money, you're selling your product, you're selling your vision to your team, your staff, it's a constant sales that's happening to entrepreneurship.
A better way of using the word is persuasiveness. You have to persuade people to come along to the way of thinking, the way of doing it, the way of whatever. Come along to my side.
Yeah. Especially when you're persuading, probably back in the day, especially when you didn't have the massive real estate empire, but you had a goal, a dream of where you're headed, and you got to persuade people to come on the journey when there is not everything there yet.
Especially on a commission basis.
Even harder. I'm not going to pay you, but I need you to come with me on this journey.
I don't want you to ask me any questions here.
It's the persuasion, the sales ability. And the other one I love that you said is you got to have that. Sometimes I refer to it as true grit. Just the raw determination of I'm going to get punched in the face, I'm going to show up again, I'm going to get punched in the face, and show up again until I figure this thing out. Because every day as entrepreneurs, if you guys are facing it as well, like, there's just losses. They're not even losses. It's just a normal day in your life now, getting punched in the face over whatever the thing is that day. But it's the ability to just keep going and keep going. To almost your body becomes used to it, and it's a normal day for you. Yeah, you finally get used to it. You're like, oh, this is normal. I'm just gonna get punched in the face. This is okay. I can't feel it. It's okay. Through it. Let me ask you this. Go back to Shark Tank for a second. I've always wondered this question. I've interviewed a bunch of the sharks, but I've never asked this question to them, and I'm going to ask you.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am positive. I think so far, I will tell you, Barbara, you are the most, what I would say, authentic shark that I have interviewed so far. Extremely powerful trait in life to be authentic and real. You're very authentic. If I ask this question, you have obviously 15 season, you have seen people come in and pitch different products and businesses and so forth. And you've watched, I don't know how many countless times. But not only that, you get pitched probably when you go anywhere, and out walking, at the coffee shop, people are pitching you ideas probably. I've got actually two. When we get done, I want to run by you if you don't mind, of course.
Are you ever going to get to the question?
I'm not going to get to it now. But the question is, how would, knowing all that and seeing all those pitches that entrepreneurs make, how would you pitch? If the roles were reversed, knowing what you know, and seeing them pitch, if you went to their place, what are some of the things that you would make sure that you said to the investors? Some of these people are going to go out and pitch to raise capital, raise money. If you gave them advice of like, knowing what I know on Shark Tank, here's some of the things I'd make sure I said, or things that I would not even talk about. How would you make your kind of presentation or pitch to investors and yourself?
I think it's selling a headline, something, a hook. I think it was a monkey hook or a fish hook. I think the hook every investor loves to hear. Let me tell you how I'm going to make you a lot of money. Very often it doesn't come out to the end of the pitch. And by then you may have put the guy to sleep. The lady's falling off a chair. Right? You don't know. So I think you got to get them where their wallet is. It's kind of like how people vote. Let me tell you, I'm going to make a lot of money. Okay. I think the second most important thing is many of the people on Shark Tank give us their resume. I was this, I was that, I was that, but they failed to take it home. For me as an investor, what I want to hear is other people I pick. Always. There's people who are able to tell me, here's my resume, I went to da-da-da, and here's what I'm good at, what I did there, why I'm so valuable, and here's what I did here, and here's what I learned there, and here's what I learned. The third thing, ask a question you don't know the information on? Sorry, I actually don't know that, and I get back to you. But investors forgive a lot, you know, but let me question you about getting an investor. It's inviting another God into your household. You're the God of your journey. You do what you want. That money can look good. I was offered $300,000 to sell the Corcoran Group 3 years before I sold it for $66 million. And you know what? I took the offer. And thank God they bowed out. What a waste that was just a lucky break. Right? Okay, but you really have to be cautious about bringing people into the house. I always tell my entrepreneurs it's letting the fox in your hen house. The guy that comes along and knows more than you, he's been in that space, he really is sophisticated, he's going to build you an empire, and before you know it, he's crashing your business. It happened again and again. Investors start ruling you. You have to be careful about investors. They're really sincerely, they say they won't interfere, they always interfere. Just don't believe it. Yeah.
Very, I like it. Let's talk about in business, in life, whether this is even as a parent, as a partner, there's leadership in everything that we do in life. There are different levels of leadership, leading a corporate office and all the way down to helping leading a family and so forth. What are some of the, when you look at leadership, what are some of the positive attributes, like 1 or 2 positive attributes that you see? And I'm also just, I'm going to ask you, what are some of the negative attributes that you see in leadership today that we should try to stay away from, and what are the positive ones that we should lean into as leaders?
Well, everyone has a different style of leading, of course, but for me, not just for me, but for everybody, I think that the number one thing a leader has to do is realize unequivocally the truth of you work for the people that don't work for you. If your head set as a leader of an organization, a little one or a giant one, I never let my head get screwed up. I knew I would do anything in my power to help those people get ahead, what I could possibly afford, what I could possibly scrap out, and they knew it. They felt loved. A leader is not a bully, it's the opposite. It's someone loving who's going to take care of them. I don't mean to make you baby, but they knew that I was the boss. They were the boss, and I treated everybody that way. I think if you treat people like you're just there to please them, you accomplish your own goals anyway, because you got them set, right? But it goes farther than anything else you could do. Even emulating good leadership doesn't go as far. It's loving people goes far. I do that today. If any of my people left me, I have a small organization today, a media business, I feel I would die. That's ridiculous, isn't it? But there's something valuable that I know. What can I do for you lately? What can I do for you lately? I throw raises and bonuses before they end, right? I'm afraid of losing them. I respect them as mine. You know, I'm important for you. That's all I'm answering.
Very good. On the other side of the coin, that's the very positive attributes you see in a leader. Is there certain, with maybe some of the companies you've invested in or companies you work with, what would be something as a leader that is a negative trait that we should stay away from inside of leadership? Are there negative traits that you see?
One in particular drives me nuts and I stay away from. Sometimes like a big shot. Big shots, come on, big shots. They're more insecure than everybody else. Somebody scrubbing your shit, yeah, I'm not buying it. Ever. Yeah, I think that's the opposite of leadership. Acting like a big shot.
It goes back to earlier, your authenticity. To me, your authenticity is like what you lead with. I don't know if you mean to or not, but you lead with authenticity.
Well, actually, I've been fooling you all along. Let me say something about authenticity. It's not that I'm striving to be authentic. I'm striving to be myself. But let me tell you, there was a chapter or 2 in my life where I got my hair poofed up. I bought fancy middle-aged suits. I was a girl, looking the part, which is important in work. But I was pretty full of myself. And those were the years, those couple of years when I started getting self-important that I didn't know that. People didn't have the fervor for me they used to have. They're not on the same team, not swinging together. It was different, was all. But I just took a little dive. I took the wrong road for a short distance, but I came back. People always accept someone who's authentic. You could be a loser loser, and not talk right, and not dress right. But if you are not ashamed of being yourself, people will accept you. What people aren't going to accept is a kind of woman that knows correct, and they put their arms up, not physically, but their armor up. Authentic works every time. I love people that are wacky and ridiculous and stupid and can't talk. No, I really do, because if they're not apologizing to themselves, yeah, authentic is really, it's something hard to play. It's who you are.
I think it's a very good definition. Authenticity is just being you. It's being who you are, being okay with whatever that is, just be that. And especially, it's very tough in the world of social media that we live inside of today. It's like everybody's trying to be something else. Everybody's trying to show that they're this. And it's just be who you freaking are, and it will come through over and over again.
Wholeheartedly.
If we can, let me ask you a question. A lot of times, entrepreneurs and so forth, listeners, we're in relationships. And the act of balancing entrepreneurship and launching a company, growing a company, scaling a company, and then also having a partner at home, a relationship at home. What is maybe a piece of advice that you could give us from having a husband and wife, a partner at home, while running a business? What's something you've learned for those 30 years of business and relationships at home?
I learned something from Mark Cuban. One day on the set, he said something that hit me, and I realized it had been my mistake. First of all, if you're building a business and you're ferocious about it, and you work 24/7, and you're obsessed with it because you're so determined, you're shorting your wife at home, or husband at home, or friendships. You're also shorting yourself because you're not having much fun, right? But I have to say that I learned from Mark Cuban that he told his 2 women that wanted to marry him, "You're going to sign up for being way in the backseat, honey. Are you okay with that?" I should have asked my both husbands, "Are you okay with that?" I never stopped to ask. I just said, "You're going to be okay with this." But I think to think that building a business, you're going to find, what's the word, a fashionable word, balance. There's no such thing as balance. Bullshit. So you just got to go crazy. You've got to have a partner who understands, honestly. Or you're going to have to compromise.
It's so true. Like this, again, it's all over social media. Like how to balance your life of entrepreneurship and relationships. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What? Who? The only thing I can think of is you must not be an entrepreneur if you're trying to give me the advice of balance in these 2 worlds. It's the ability to be all in on this entrepreneurship, and then go home and be all in there. And as much as you get there, you got to get there. But wherever you're at, you got to go all in with that thing. Whether you're your partner, you're all in the partner. Your business, you're all in the business. Because there's no such thing as freaking balance in entrepreneurship. There is no 9 to 5.
And you know, if you do it wrong, here's what you can do. You can always, if you get rich enough, have as many wives and husbands as you want.
Write that down, folks. That is just absolutely.
And then you get them all as response.
I love it.
However, the first part will take half a
Her name was Rebecca. Listen, it's okay. It's okay.
Mine was Dale.
I love it, Barbara. We're coming to the end here, and I want to ask what we call the money is question. So I'm asking one more kind of question through there, and then I want to turn it back over to you and give you the final words of whatever you'd like to say.
You know, those final words are always tough.
The final words are the tough ones, and that's why I'm telling you now to get ready, so you get ready. But we have, as we bring all the people out, we have what we call the money is blank. And it's a question, I actually started this kind of question from speaking in my first interview. It was actually out here in New York City with Gary Vee. And, but his money is blank, and I ask every person that comes on the show, when it comes to money, money has a meaning to it. Like as an entrepreneur, you heard Eddie talk a while earlier today, my partner, about impact others and the foundation, but money has something, a meaning, a feeling to it. What is, if you put a word or 2 words, whatever it may be, in that blank, what would it be? Money is blank to...
Well, there's only one word, freedom. Freedom to build the world. And freedom to take assets, God in a way, you know? And the idea that money makes you not have a boss. Whoa, what a luxury. I never liked a boss.
I love money. Money is freedom. And in it, freedom comes the ability for you to do what you want, when you want. But it also comes with the ability for you to help where you want to help and give where you want to give, and children and grandchildren, and everything comes through our life. I think so many entrepreneurs, we're not trying to go build this business or life because we're greedy and selfish. We really want to go do a bunch of really cool stuff with money. As we get it, we'll do stuff with it. Normally, entrepreneurs are not going to sit on it and hold it and bury it. They want to do stuff with it in their lives.
Let me just say a word of caution. The entrepreneurs that have failed miserably that I've invested in, because I do surveys by my 15 years of experience, they were the people, when I asked them what's the most important thing to you, they said money. I don't think it's a word of God. I think when your God is to make a difference, be the smartest, the best, the brightest, have a quality job, impressive friends, all that stuff's better than making money a God. They never get there. It's an empty God there.
There's a thing I learned the hard way. You cannot chase money. It's an illusion. It's a mirage. If you chase it, you never actually get it.
Yeah, but if you wait around and hope somebody dumps something, you won't get it either.
That's my next strategy.
You don't get it.
Barbara, there's a thing I got to talk to you about. Last thing here, Barbara, I'm going to give you the infamous, the final words here to tell this wonderful group from New York and New Jersey. Full of men and women entrepreneurs, and what will be the final advice that you give them today?
At some point along the way, you have to get over yourself. You really do. You have to get over what's wrong about life and take your power back. Nothing is worse than a person who gives their power away by playing victim. You know? When you play victim, you've resigned. And I have an interesting test I give my entrepreneurs on Shark Tank. I buy into the businesses, it's going great, I make $1 million in sales, maybe more on Shark Tank. They're a winner, everybody's clapping, and then about 3 or 4 months later they call. And this is how it goes. I can't believe it. We just got the new model in from China, and the bastards lied to me. We can't use them, they're technical. I can't believe it. My attorney never really got the patent. What they're doing is the blame game. The minute I hear them mention somebody else, I take that picture on my wall, because I have all my entrepreneurs on my wall, and I turn it upside down.
Wow.
And I turn it upside down to remind myself when they call, don't spend a lot of time.
Wow.
I know it seems mean, but that is a dividing line between the winners and the losers. The winners simply take less time feeling sorry for themselves. Just a second, and then they back up. And I guess my final word, now I'm getting soupy here, but my final word is don't short sell yourself. Get everything you want if you want to dedicate yourself to getting everything you want. I don't mean things, but be who you want. Don't let anybody tell you. And if you're stalling on it, get the fuck out. You only got one life. I don't believe in heaven and all that shit, you know? You gotta just go for it and do what you want to do. Go for it. Just go for it.
Absolutely.
The night is coming.
I love it. Barbara, thank you so much. You guys give Barbara a round of applause.